going to be doing another audio recorded podcast because looking up new music is very difficult, first of all. And secondly, I recognize that most people just tend to mute it. And I kind of forgot about that until recently that I was doing that as a decision. So I already edited a bunch of videos with music in them in one day, so I'm just gonna keep those. But yeah, no, this is from a stream from a while ago, and I was trying to design a character off of a random pun generator because I couldn't really think of anything to draw that I'd want to refine. Mind you, you're gonna see that there's a bunch of other sketches in the background. That's because I tend to just sort of do 100 or so sketches first, and then I'll settle on the ones that I liked the most. So in this case, or in this stream's case, I settled on this one, and I don't know why, but the name that I look at it, that now that I look at its name, it kind of looks like a weird Johnny Johnny like video title. Uh, it's such a cursed thing. Good grief, what have I done? But yeah, no. I guess to go slightly off topic. Um, well, nah, I can't really think about going off topic with anything in particular. I guess the only real thing that I could think about saying with this character is that I got a lot of inspiration for it from Jenny, I guess. Just because it was on the mind, because when you think, robot and grill, I know. That character, that's the one from that one Nickelodeon show, the channel with the slime. What were they thinking with slime time? I don't know. I imagine loads of people have pointed it out by now, but I do seriously wonder if they realised like the implications that were had with just busting sticky goo on people. Like, I don't know. It just seems like the innuendo is a little bit too noticeable. Right, so at this point, I'm gonna be real with you. I wasn't too happy with this drawing when I did it, and even now I'm not terribly happy with it, because the line art is not great. It's very inconsistent in a lot of places. You notice it especially on the, like, checker patterning on the missile and on her, like, dress? I want to call it a dress? It's kind of hard to just, but whatever. Like, if those were if I'd done that properly, those lines should be consistently sized. They shouldn't be like, what's the word I'm looking for? They shouldn't be varying in width, is what I'm trying to say. And, I don't know, it just seems like I could have maybe done that better. The shading method, I'll be honest, the way I went about doing it was probably a lot more time consuming than when I do it now. Because this is something I've been doing a lot lately. In fact, I think this might be the first video I have of me using this sort of shading technique. And basically it's just, I learned after the fact, maybe a few weeks later, that it's just ambient occlusion. So I'm not special for finding out about it, boo-hoo, but I don't really care. I'm just glad that I can do it, kind of. Because, oh god, I'll tell you right now, anyone who uses cell shading at the moment, try doing ambient occlusion shading, or whatever it's called, because it looks amazing. It looks way better. Your stuff generally gains a lot more dimensionality to it, and also the lighting is just bellissimo. Fantastico. Uh, so yeah, you won't see it yet, but also I will say the one tricky thing with it is that so a lot of it hinges on you like fading out stuff like I'm doing here. So like you have to blur out a lot of it, and I see I'm doing it wrong here because you're not meant to blur out everything. You're just meant to blur out some of it. You're meant to blur it out where you have like a surface that's sort of gradienting more into shade rather than like having it just, oh, see, oh no, what am I doing? Oh god, I mean this is the downside of going over an old recording in retrospective. You can just see everything you're doing wrong, and it's wonderful. Oh, no, you're not meant to put. Oh, see, something you shouldn't do. You should not put a white outline to separate objects where two shaded sections are, because there is no light going across them. So it doesn't make any sense like that sort of bit of the outline would be illuminated, if that makes sense. So that's something else I did wrong, but oh well, it doesn't really negatively impact the final piece too much, so I'm not gonna bash it too hard. So yeah, there we go. The rest of this, I think, from memory, is just me doing some slight polishing and fixing the eyes. Here we go. Ooh, wow. Sorry, in case you're wondering what happened with the shading, I tweaked with the saturation and the contrast because I felt it was a bit weak at the time. And that, I'd always say that shading, it's better to have some color to it, but not have it be overly like, not have it be too saturated, because otherwise it'll look really weird. Like something I notice a lot of artists do, even like fairly like even people who are fairly experienced do, is they tend to go overboard with the multiply layer and high saturation shadows and ends up looking really strange. And I'm guilty of doing that because I used to do it as well. It's fine with cell shading, but it becomes very apparent when you're doing ambient occlusive shading. I don't know what the term for that would be. This is just, oh gosh, this one, I'm not happy with this drawing at all. I really did just do this as like an end of stream thing. Uh, yeah, no, I mean, it's alright for like a quick doodle. It's meant to be a quick like binary pen drawing, all done on one layer. So, I mean, in that regard, I guess it gets salvaged towards the end, but like you can see that there's a lot of mistakes that came up as a result of me basing it on a flawed sketch. There's something you have to focus on. You have to make sure that your sketch is at least semi-competent, because otherwise it will reflect very badly on your final product. It doesn't have to be refined, but it should be just decent. Right, well, I'm wrapping up towards the end of the video now, so yeah. Uh, Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!